Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. We have my boy, shall I say, no, we don't have just any old unit, we don't have we have my boy, DOKKANFEST Super Vegeta versus the legendary GT Goku event. I did say the other day, the last couple of videos were taken from a stream I did. As always, if you do want to see me stream on Twitch, link in the description is always down below. Go drop me a follow so you know when I go live. Also, recently just started up a new Twitter. I want to start using Twitter more, engage with you guys, maybe have a little chit chat, talk about Dokkan, talk about Dragon Ball Z, talk about any other anime, Demon Slayer, what else I'm watching at the time, maybe like some other actual stuff like football, whatever else. So get involved, drop me a follow on Twitter, link in the description down below. I said I do want to start using Twitter more. This is what doing the new Twitter is for, so I can start using it more. So yeah, go drop me a follow. But yeah, we're finally doing this. I actually cannot believe I forgot to use my boy in the legendary GT Goku event. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I forgot about him. Well, I actually have to apologize to Super Vegeta right now. Like, I actually apologize for forgetting about doing this video for you. I'm so sorry. I can't believe that I forgot. But of course, when we took him to the legendary Vegeta event, when that recently dropped on Global, he was dominant. I don't think I've seen a DOKKANFEST TUR dominate an event like this. The longer draw, I don't think I've ever seen a unit come close to dominating an event like this. Unless you're like UI Goku, but even then he has this like kind of, dry spells. Just a TUR. I don't think I've ever seen a TUR dominate one of the harder events in the game like this, the way Vegeta dominated the Vegeta event. And I have to say, maybe he doesn't dominate the GT Goku event as well. Obviously it's harder, it does more damage, he does less damage, more health, those type of things. But he was still very dominant. Not as dominant in the Vegeta event, but he was still... I mean, look at that. I know he has type advantage, but he just formally critted that Goku. Goku is a literal child. Vegeta just ran up to him and booted him. Like an American football or rugby in England, right? He just booted him. He may not be as dominant in the Vegeta event because it is easier than the GT Goku event, but he was still dominant. Not as, but still dominant. For the majority event, we did have him in slot 1, so we can take advantage, of the fact that he can take some, he takes one hit, he'll get the attack and defense plus 50%. He'll then get the additional attack and defense plus 50% performing a super attack. Multiply that onto the attack and defense plus 150, he gets on his passive at the start of turn. Then he starts doing the maximum damage, and then anything there, any attacks that come afterwards, he has all the necessary parts of his passive active, for him to tank as well as he can do. I'm not gonna lie though, in this one, apart from obviously this phase, because of course we have type advantage here, so it's a lot safer to run him in slot 1. In the GT Goku event, I had to move him into slot 2 a little bit quicker. Obviously, as I said, he's still dominant. That doesn't mean he's bad here. I know the risk of putting Super Vegeta in slot 1, it can be incredibly worth it, because it means you're maximizing his defense, you're maximizing his attack, especially because he crits on top of that guaranteed. You want to maximize the amount of damage like that and maximize his defense all in one. But with the amount of damage the GT Goku event can start doing, like a lot quicker compared to the Vegeta event, he had to move in slot 2 a little bit quickly. Obviously, this is an exception because he has type advantage here, which is kind of perfect for him. But as soon as we got to like the type disadvantage with the, was it Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2? I think it's Super Saiyan 2 Goku. He had to move into slot 2. Great Ape had to be in slot 2. Unless we had an item active, which I actually think we did. SSJ4 Goku had to be in slot 2. SSJ4 Power or Full Power SSJ4 Goku, slot 2. I know a lot of the time it seems worth the risk, but just think about it this way, and I've said this before when we took him in the Vegeta event a while ago now. If you put him in slot 1, especially against, Full Power SSJ4 Goku at the end, and RNG isn't feeling a little bit too nice, it's not feeling nice to you, he could get super attacked with no extra padding, as I like to call it. He has no extra attack and defense plus 50%, just the 150% defense he gets at the start of turn. Which means he is going to be taking a lot on a super attack, which is why I say at least put him in slot 2. The later you get in on the Vegeta event, and probably a little bit earlier in the Goku event. So at least before he gets hit, he can super attack and get the additional attack and defense plus 50% before taking his initial hit, to then get the additional attack and defense plus 50% for receiving that hit. At least he'll have a bit of extra padding to be able to tank a super attack. Lucky enough here, I took advantage of the fact we had the active. We already used the ATA, had full health, a bit of extra defense. We still took quite a bit of damage, but we didn't die, which is the major thing, because obviously the Great Ape phase does a lot of damage, especially on a super. Used the active to make sure we got through it quicker. Had the Dokkan attack as well. As I said, we already used the ATA to make sure we survived with full health, bit of extra defense, so we had some extra padding to survive. My boy was good to go. We one-turned the Great Ape on this stage. We Great Ape. I can't even say it properly. We one-turned the Great Ape phase. Not only did he have the extra attack plus, what, 60% from his active, and then a Dokkan attack. You saw how much he hit, like a 7 milli crit. So after he got hit, he's got both attack and defenses plus 50%. That's 100% on top of the 150 he already gets. That's multiplicative, by the way. Guaranteed crit, 7 milli crit on the Dokkan attack, then got an additional, which meant he got another attack and defense plus 50% multiplied on top of what he already got, to then do another 3 milli crit. And the Great Ape phase got absolutely washed. This is what I mean. This is the sheer dominance my boy brings. This is the dominance DOKKANFEST Super Vegeta has. Yes, we did have a Dokkan attack, but 7 mil crit on a TUR that has one dupe. As I said, dominant. That's literally, just like Future Gohan, the one word I have, he's just dominant. There is hardly a single TUR in this game that has the same dominance as Super Vegeta does in harder events. Honestly, it is ridiculous how much he kind of steamrolls the harder events. You know, I've been making sure to complete my God event missions recently. Super Vegeta steamrolls. Okay, he doesn't really steamroll, but the amount of damage he does in that as well is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, the damage reduction can be pretty insane in the God event, but the damage he does with that guaranteed crit is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you have both attack and defenses plus 50% in his passive. He is doing ridiculous amounts of damage, and if you're lucky enough to have a dupe like we are, you get an additional. Honestly, the amount of damage he does in total is just insane. As I said, the sheer dominance he has in the harder events in Dokkan, it shouldn't be, like, I don't get how it's a thing, because he's just so dominant. So dominant. You know, this is a unit that doesn't stack. This is just, you know, partially you have to be a little bit risky with him and get him hit to have him ideal, right? Which, as I said, sometimes just in case, depending on what phase you're on in like a longer event, or, you know, where your items are, you know, how many items you have left, you know, how much health you have, you probably want to move him in slot 2, as I said, to have the extra, you know, padding before he does take the initial hit. But, you know, you take that risk and you get both attack and defenses plus 50%, and then he super attacks. The damage output is honestly insane. Like, it is insane. And obviously, I think this morning it was revealed that another version of my boy, the AGL SSB Vegeta that transforms into SSB Vegeta, the old Pure Saiyan DOKKANFEST, is getting an easy A soon. So a lot of people have been saying, you know, he's probably going to replace this Vegeta, which, no, why would he replace him? You're not gonna do, you know, the Andy meme from Toy Story where it's like, I don't want to play with you no more. No, you're gonna run both of them. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna run both of them, and they're gonna be insane together unless they absolutely shaft my boy, which I really hope they don't do. You know, you made Super Vegeta ridiculous, and I will not tolerate it. UI Goku from Year 6 is amazing. That doesn't mean SSB Vegeta is bad. His inconsistent damage reduction is very frustrating, but he's not bad. He's not a bad unit. I hate the slander and disrespect, okay? Stop! Leave him alone, okay? Okay? I will not tolerate it. He's not a bad unit. It's just UI Goku is amazing, like ridiculously good. Even he's been picking up some slander recently, I'm not gonna lie. But he's still a decent unit. But everyone who's like, yeah, nah, Super Vegeta is not gonna matter anymore, you run them together. If you don't have Super Vegeta, at least now if you already have him when he easy A's, you have a Pure Saiyan's lead. You have an updated Pure Saiyan's lead. If you have both, run them together. As I said, hopefully Dokkan doesn't shaft my boy and his EZA is absolutely ridiculous. And hopefully they also kind of update or kind of alter his transformation condition, because I'm pretty sure it's like 30%. Which, by the way, I accidentally kind of pulled out the wire here. You don't actually miss much. I think we get an additional, or you're seeing the back end of the super attack. So yeah, you didn't really miss anything. But yeah, hopefully they kind of alter his transformation condition, because it's like a 30-40% chance, which is really annoying. Because 1 minute you can have it just never come off, and the next minute it will come off almost immediately, and it's like, well, I kind of don't want it immediately, and I also want it to happen. So hopefully they can kind of alter that when he gets to the EZA, because they did alter Android 21's. I think they increased it to 40%. So I'm hoping they can alter Vegeta's as well. But yeah, honestly, the sheer dominance and sheer power this Vegeta has is honestly ridiculous. His defense isn't ridiculous, you know, it's not amazing for like a longer event. You know, he's not a stacker. He's also open, we've seen it, he's open to a bit of damage in ESBR as well. When you have that many units doing the amount of damage they can do in ESBR, he's obviously going to be open to a bit of damage. His defense isn't bad, it's not ridiculous. It's decent, it's pretty good. Especially, as I said, if you fill all the kind of like conditions, if you will, in his passive, where you get both attack and defenses plus 50%. On top of the 150 he gets at the start of turn. And then my boy's good to go. But I see some of you lot putting him in slot 1 where he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage, sometimes without an item act. If you have like a Whis active, sure, go for it. You're a bit safer. You've got a bit of extra padding to keep him safe. And then once he super attacks, you get a super attacked after that, doesn't matter, because you've got a Whis active, you've got both attack and defenses plus 50%. On top of the 150, he's good to go. He's fine. But sometimes I see people putting him in slot 1 in these events, in these harder events. No item active. You know, takes the initial attack for like 100k on a basic, like 80 to 100k on a basic. And I'm like, you guys are living life on the edge. I wish I could be like you, because then he's doing the, you know, his full amount of damage he can possibly do, and then having the full amount of defense he could possibly have after he super attacks. So fair play to people who do that, but sometimes you're playing a little bit too risky. Because you're the same people that will get super attacked in the first turn and be like, he's so mid, he's got no defense. Well, I mean, you know, if you put him in slot 2, he's got a bit of extra padding before he gets hit, and he can actually kind of, you know, actually not die. But fair play if you do play ultra risky with Super Vegeta, because I can't always do that, because I feel like I'm going to die at any moment. But yeah, honestly, he's still dominant, even though the GT Goku event is harder. That's going to end the video. I'll see you in the next one, guys, and peace.